Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Julie Hogan, filling in for Terry Stiles. In this week's news, Oxford School District voters face some financial decisions, Oxford Middle School choir sings for a great cause, and complimentary dinner is given for military veterans and their families.
Stay tuned, learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Little Charlie Lillian Hendricks' life was a happy one filled with love until it was tragically cut short when she was brutally murdered by her very own grandmother. 68-year-old Sylvia Majewski from Addison Township was convicted for killing the 7-month-old granddaughter and her 29-year-old son, Darren Gailey. She was just recently sentenced by Circuit Court Judge Denise Langford Morris to serve for each count a minimum of 25 years and a maximum of 50 years in prison for the horrible atrocities committed in the past 3 years ago. For each of the second-degree murder charges, the sentences are to run concurrently, and she was given credit for the 1,060 days she has already spent in jail.
Tuesday, November 7th is right around the corner, and Oxford School District voters will face two very important proposals when they head to the polls between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Voters are being asked to approve a $28 million bond and a 5-year $0.75 million sinking fund. Both would be used to fund a variety of capital improvement projects throughout the district. Should the proposals be approved, officials are looking to invest over $30 million into transportation, building systems, site improvements, and roofing. It would also help fund technology infrastructure, security cameras, and playgrounds throughout the district.
They dedicated their time and talents to serving the community for many years, and although they are now gone, they are certainly not forgotten. On a Saturday morning, township officials and staff, family members, and residents gathered at the Oxford Township Hall to honor the memories of Sue Bellairs and Dale Birch. Bellairs served as an elected township trustee for 16 years, and Birch worked as an electrical inspector for 27 years. Oxford Township Supervisor Bill Dunn said a few words about each of the honored deceased, and honorary plaques were placed at strategic locations on the grounds to commemorate the two outstanding community servants.
An Oxford Township man got the shock of his life, courtesy of an Oakland County Sheriff's deputy taser, after he allegedly broke into a neighboring home, then repeatedly resisted arrest. Patrick Freeman Haynes, 38-year-old, was arraigned October 30th via video in Rochester Hills 52nd 3rd District Court on the charges of breaking and entering without permission. He was also charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer in discharge of his or her duty. Bond was set at $20,000.
As a tribute to all those who served in the military, Oxford Middle School students sang their hearts out at the High School Performing Arts Center on Friday, November 3rd. A total of 226th through 8th grade choir students took the stage last week to perform a variety of patriotic songs as part of the 15th annual Americana concert.
Military veterans and their families are invited by the Oxford Free Methodist Church, located at East Burdick Street, for a complimentary dinner on Saturday, November 11th at 3 p.m. Reservations are required, so please register online at oxfordfmc.org or call 248-628-1203. And that's Oxford News This Week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, you can catch us on our website, occtv.org, or on YouTube, and of course, our regular cable channels, Charter 191 or AT&T Channel 99.
And coming up soon on OCTV's very own Cody Wright with the Sports Report, and you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Julie Hogan. Thanks for watching Oxford News This Week.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, after 15 years studying Earth's gravity, the Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment, or GRACE mission, is over. It used a pair of satellites to measure the changes that arise in Earth's gravity as water, ice, and land move around the globe. The satellites will use up their fuel and then crash to Earth in December or January. In our next story, a material inspired by mussels can stretch without snapping and repair its own molecular bonds. These features could make it useful in robot joints for lifting heavy objects or in packaging to protect delicate cargo from accidental falls. It could even one day be used to repair tendons in our joints. Mussels can grip fast to wet and rough surfaces using an adhesive protein and tough plasticky fibers that can repair themselves when a few of their molecular bonds are broken. Megan Valentine at the University of California in Santa Barbara and her colleagues created a plastic with these properties by mimicking the chemistry that mussels use. Molecular bonds between iron and an organic compound called catechol make the material difficult to break or tear while allowing it to stretch by 50%. Iron catechol bonds dissipate energy from something hitting or stretching the material, and these sacrificial bonds break, but the structure stays intact. It's like a bike helmet. If you're in a bike accident, the foam inside the helmet crushes and dissipates some of the energy, says Valentine. But unlike a bike helmet, however, once the stress is taken away, the bonds reform, making it reusable. Adding these bonds results in the plastic being 770 times stretchier and 58 times stronger than without them. Wow. In our next story, it's been a good week for beleaguered sharks. A cross-border conservation pact signed by 126 countries last week promises for the first time to extend extra protection to sharks and several other migratory species wherever countries they stray into. Among the biggest winners at the Global Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, or CMS, were whale sharks, the world's largest fish. They are a vulnerable species and their population has been falling. Governments added whale sharks to the Appendix 1 of the convention, promising to protect them domestically from killing or capture and to safeguard their habitats. Conservationists welcome the move because it means whale sharks will finally be protected at offshore hotspots to which they migrate, including Madagascar, Mozambique, Peru, and Tanzania. Several other sharks made it onto Appendix 2, which obliges countries within a species' migratory range to collaborate on measures to protect them, for example, by regulating fishing or banning finning. Conservationists particularly welcome the new status for blue sharks. They're the most highly fished sharks in the world, with 20 million caught around the world each year, but they're also the most migratory, so they're vulnerable to fisheries everywhere, says Matt Collis of the International Fund for Animal Welfare. This puts pressure on countries to commit to international protection, he says. Other sharks sharing in the same new protections include dusky sharks, angel sharks, white-spotted wedgefish, and the bizarrely named common guitarfish. As an additional bonus, Sri Lanka, Ecuador, Benin, and Brazil joined the Shark Memorandum of Understanding, an ad hoc agreement already signed by 41 countries to coordinate protection for sharks. Collis says the addition of Brazil is particularly significant as it has a large part to play in the protection of many species of shark. In our last story, the famed duck comet is revealing more about its past. It turns out that 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko probably did grow out of tiny pebbles, as many suspected, and this may help us learn more about how planets form too. Using data from the Rosetta spacecraft and Philae lander, Jürgen Blum at Braunschweig University in Technology in Germany and his team have traced 67P's building blocks to tiny pebbles of dust and ice. Scientists have long suspected that clumps of microscopic dust built 67P. The idea is that particles' gravity gradually attracts them together, slowly leading to a bigger and bigger pile of pebbles. This can eventually form a comet or even an entire planet. Blum and his colleagues confirmed that 67P was almost certainly formed in this way. However, this analysis doesn't solve the mystery of how 67P got its duck-like shape. Whether the two lobes were once one body and then carved out of its current shape, or came together as a gentle collision by two individual bodies, we have no information about, says Blum. Planets can be born in the same way, so by tracking comets like 67P back to the pebbles that made them, we can find out more about what kinds of material made Earth. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcats School Update. School bus safety is always of top importance in our district, and last week was no exception. 3 of our bus driver trainers were making the rounds, reminding our kids of simple things that can save their lives. Lee Rogers, Sue Flewelling, and Linda Saddam were over at Daniel Axford.
This is associated with Bus Safety Week. We try and do it during that time, which is in October, and we interact with developmental kindergartners, and first grade. So the first graders are getting it for their second, perhaps third time, but we do the whole district.
Okay, and we're at Daniel Axford right now.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Anyone else want to chime in on this?
We also do the ECSC kids, which are the Head Start program that we have over at the OE building, and we get them, take them through the program, get them on the bus and go through the rules of school bus safety, and actually take them for a bus ride to get them ready for the beginning of the school year when they all enter kindergarten.
We talk about the danger zone around the bus. We talk about behavior in the bus as far as not standing up or getting out of your seat or not being in the aisle while the bus is moving.
Emergency evacuations we do.
They'll be practicing what they preach as they visit our schools.
7th. We do the high school, middle school as well, just the evacuations. It's recommended by the state of Michigan that we perform those 3.
So they actually get to practice it, huh?
Yes,
Right.
yeah, we do actual practices. We take them outside of the bus and give them a certain distance, at least 100 feet away from the bus to be safe.
And we practice going out the front door, the back door, and the front and the back.
I asked them what a bus driver's biggest concern is these days.
What's going on?
People running red lights.
Yes.
It happens. I have several stops on Seymour Lake. I would say at least twice a week I have somebody that runs the reds, that just ignores the red light. Whether they're texting and not aware of it, I think is usually the case, but often you'll see them just drive right by and look at you as they go.
You're talking about the stop sign on the bus that you put
Yes.
out, right?
Yes.
Yep, the red light's flashing on top, a big stop sign that's illuminated and flashing, and they just drive right through it.
And I think teaching the public about awareness on hazard stops nowadays, that's when we don't use our reds and we use our hazard lights. Sometimes we start getting traffic bottled up because they don't understand the meaning of hazard lights compared to red lights.
Lee Rogers, Sue Flewelling, and Linda Saddam over at Daniel Axford. They're moving out some of the desks over at Oxford Elementary, a new classroom experiment called flexible seating. Teacher Matt Robitek shows us around.
So one thing that we've been doing is looking at flexible seating. It's kind of a, I guess you could say, a new age approach to how to sit children in the classroom. Growing up, we always had assigned desks, and I think it's been that way since the beginning of time. You had your assigned seat, and then if you were super lucky, your teacher would change desks or seating arrangements once every other month or so. This allows the kids to kind of have that flexibility every single day. It allows them to choose their seat. It helps them learn better because they're comfortable in their environment, and they can switch it up daily. I think that's important, making the kids feel comfortable, relaxed, and letting them know that if they can handle it, they have a little bit of extra responsibility, but they kind of hold their own, I don't know, I guess you could say they hold the keys to the car in terms of sitting where they want to that day, and one seating style or one place might work from one day, and it might not work from the other. And they can switch it up throughout the day, too.
Matt says when they work on their assignments, they choose where they sit. When the teacher's instructing, they gather around him or her. Interesting. The Stars visited Daniel Axford the other day. The Sloan Longway Planetarium in Flint got portable as they brought their dome into the gym and took the kids into outer space. Buddy Stark was at the controls.
Yeah, so this is Longway Planetarium's portable planetarium. We bring it to schools mostly within Genesee County, but every once in a while kind of outside Genesee County. And it's a way of, if busing costs are too much or for whatever other reason, you know, maybe getting field trip together, the logistics is too hard, we can bring it to you. And so we bring a variety of programming. This one's primarily talking about daily motion, lunar phases, that kind of stuff.
Buddy tells more about the setup.
Yeah, and so the outside is black, obviously, and that keeps the light out, but the inside is actually white so that our projector can project up onto it. We've got just a a fairly expensive LED projector, just a regular LED projector with a big fisheye lens on it, and it gives you, a nighttime sky kind of projection.
And off we go. That's the Oxford School News for this week. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
Canine Stray Rescue is Oxford's own local dog rescue. Call them at 248-628-0435 or go to their website dogsaver.org and click on the Canine Stray Rescue League link.
What's going on, Oxford fans? Cody Wright here once again with the Sports Report. Well, this fall season so far has been a good one, and we are getting close to the end. Soon we will be in the midst of our winter season, but not quite yet. So let's take a look at the official posted records from oxfordathletics.org just to see how things are shaping up. Well, first off, boys and girls cross-country teams are both heading to the state finals at Michigan International Speedway. We will hopefully have some good news by next week for you, but until then, we can only wait. If you want to support our guys and gals, head on over and show your Wildcat spirit. Also, the girls swim team will be participating in the OAA Championship as they head in with their 8-0 record at Oxford High School. We will keep you posted on the upcoming events as well. Our boys soccer team is currently holding a 5-11-3 record. Alongside that is the boys tennis with a 4-3-0 record. Can't forget our football team as well. The varsity is currently holding a record of 2-7-0, JV's 0-3, and the freshman club is an impressive 9-0. And last but not least, our girls volleyball varsity club's record is currently 3-8-2, alongside JV with a record of 2-3-0. Again, all of these records are taken from oxfordathletics.org. For more info on the team statistics, check out the website. There's plenty more than just overall records, all right there at oxfordathletics.org. While you're at it, might as well check us out at occtv.org. All of our coverage of the games can be found on our YouTube page, alongside many more programs we have put together for you. Once again, that is occtv.org. And that should just about wrap up this week's report. I want to thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'm Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
Are you a movie buff? A gamer? A fan of music? Or do you just enjoy all things media? Then you should watch Media Maniacs on Monday through Friday at 3:30 and at 11:30 on the weekends, right before the all-night movies. Remember, Media Maniacs. They review everything, and they're just crazy enough to do it.
Hi, I'm Julie Hogan. Welcome to your weekly calendar of events, where we feature your weekly community events for Oxford and Addison Township, including charities, special fundraisers, and general community information. If you or your organization would like us to help you get your message out to our viewing public, please contact us at 248-628-9658 or go to our website occtv.org. Oxford's tiny resident, Lucy Holt, isn't done fighting for her health, and neither is the community of Oxford. Tickets are on sale for a huge fundraiser dubbed We Love Lucy on Saturday, November 18th from 5 to 10 p.m. The event will be held at the Knights of Columbus Hall, located at 1400 Orion Road in Orion Township. Lucy, who just celebrated her first birthday, is currently undergoing chemotherapy after having the right side of her liver removed last month at Boston Children's Hospital. For $50 each, folks can enjoy a full menu dinner, music and dancing, a silent auction, 50-50 raffle, and a few surprise musical acts. Tickets are available at several Oxford businesses. Get them at Collier Lanes, located at 879 Lapeer Road, Caveman and Pip at 28 South Washington Street, and the Boulevard Boutique, located at 5 South Washington Street. 100% of the proceeds will help offset the family's mounting medical expenses for baby Lucy. Anyone who would like to sponsor this event can donate cash, resources, or items for the silent auction. To contribute to this great cause, please call Laura Murphy at 248-240-4720. The Oxford Public Library Friends are dedicated volunteers and advocates for libraries who raise much-needed funds. This group sponsors programs, special events, and hosts popular used book sales. They are a nonprofit organization formed to promote the interest and welfare of the Oxford Public Library. Join this group is a rewarding way to give back to your community and costs as little as $10. Simply complete the application form available online at miopl.org or visit the Oxford Library at 530 Pontiac Street in Oxford to obtain a copy. Find your new fuzzy friend and help them find a forever home. The Canine Stray Rescue League will be hosting doggy adoptions at the Harvest Time Farm Market located at 1125 South Lapeer Road in Oxford. Adoptions are held on the second and fourth Saturday of each month from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Canine Rescue League is a nonprofit group helping dogs find loving homes. This group also helps organizations that use dogs to help people in need, such as Leader Dogs for the Blind and the U.S. Customs agents. For more information about this or other adoption events, go to www.caninestray.com or call 248-628-0435. The Oxford American Legion Post 108 has been serving the veterans in our community for 97 years. You may not know, but the post, located at 130 East Rainer, is also home to the American Legion Museum. It has over 200 uniforms and hundreds of interesting artifacts on display to look at and enjoy. The museum is open to the public and it's always free. For more information about visiting the museum, contact James Parkhurst at 248-628-9081. Also keep in mind that the American Legion is comprised of many terrific groups in its family. If you're interested in joining one of them, please contact Rick Moorhead at 248-628-6955. Speaking of veterans, military veterans and their families are invited to enjoy a complimentary dinner at the Oxford Free Methodist Church on Saturday, November 11th at 3 p.m. This event is sponsored by Community Connect, a ministry of the church. Seating is limited and reservations are required. Please register online at oxfordfmc.org or call 248-628-1203. If you own a business, belong to an organization, you could become a sponsor or underwriter for OCTV. A promotional spot will be created just for you, and our broadcast announcers will give you continuous recognition. It's a great way to show your community support and promote your business or organization. For more information, contact our station manager, Bill Service, at 248-628-9658 or email him at manager@occtv.org. Also, don't forget you can locate our OCTV program schedule by going to our website and clicking on Schedule. There you'll find a list of great OCTV programs, dates, and times. One of our programs I highly recommend is Minute by Minute, hosted by Dave Kinney and Elgin Nichols. This dynamic duo will promise to entertain you with a fresh, interesting, and sometimes silly analysis of local politics in our community. Let's just say they make boring politics an easier pill to swallow. Check it out. I'm Julie Hogan, and this is Oxford Community TV's weekly calendar of events. Join us next week to learn more about new events happening in your neighborhood. Until then, make it a great week, and thank you for watching.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Tesla Incorporated, General Motors, and other car makers pushing to boost U.S. car sales were dealt a blow by House Republicans who on October 2nd proposed eliminating a $7,500 vehicle tax credit that has helped stoke early demand for the still small segment of the U.S. auto market. If adopted, the repeal would take effect after the 2017 tax year, according to a summary of the bill released by the House Ways and Means Committee as part of a sweeping overhaul of the U.S. tax code that would eliminate some deductions and cut the corporate tax rate to 20%. The Senate is crafting its own version. Automakers from Detroit to Yokohama are betting big on an electric future with plans to spend billions of dollars on new pure electric models to be rolled out in the coming years despite limited sales to date. Available of the credit has been capped at the first 200,000 qualifying vehicles sold by each manufacturer. No automaker has reached that cap yet, though. That will stop any electric vehicle market in the U.S. apart from sales of the highly expensive Tesla Model S, said Xavier Muscat, a senior partner at Boston Consultant Group, who authored a study on the growth of battery-powered vehicles. There's no Tesla 3, no Bolt, no Leaf in a market without incentives. A premature end to the EV credit could have outsized impact on Tesla, which is striving to scale up production of its least expensive electric car, the $35,000 Model 3 sedan. The company has said it has hundreds of thousands of would-be buyers holding reservations for the vehicle. Eliminating the credit would also impact other car makers offering electric vehicles such as GM and Nissan Motor Company, which according to the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers collectively offer more than 30 EVs in the U.S. market. Car makers are under pressure to sell vehicles in higher volumes each year under an electric car sales mandate administered by the regulators in California. 10 other states also follow that policy. That puts the auto industry in the middle between the contradictory government policies, Alliance spokesman Gloria Berquist said in a statement. There is no question that the elimination of the federal electric vehicle tax credit will impact the choices of prospective buyers and make the electric vehicle mandate in 10 states, about a third of the market, even more difficult to meet, says Berquist, whose trade association represents a dozen automakers, including GM, Ford, and Volkswagen. And at Ford, through the holiday season, Ford is partnering with Sam's Club and TrueCar to offer special pricing for Sam's Club members in 36 states. The deal is offered through Sam's Club Auto Buying Program, which offers savings on new vehicle purchases as well as discounts for repairs and parts. Customers in the program can compare pricing for new and used vehicles in the area and may receive up to $2,000 in post-sale benefits, including auto repair and auto deductible reimbursements. Eligible Sam's Club members register online on a site run by TrueCar for an offer code that they can bring to any Ford dealership in their area. In addition to the X-Plan pricing for Sam's Club members, buyers of new 2017 or 2018 vehicles between October 16th of this year and January 2nd of 2018 will receive $500 in bonus cash applied to their purchase. Ford's U.S. sales are off 2.7% this year through September, with a volume off 2.9% at the Ford brand, but up 2.8% at Lincoln. TrueCar's partnership with Sam's Club began with the launch of the program in 2015, intended to rival a dealership referral service available through Costco, a similar membership-only warehouse-style retailer and a main competitor to Sam's Club. Sam's Club, by the way, is owned by Walmart. This is the first time Ford Motor Company has partnered with Sam's Club, though the automaker has a similar arrangement with BJ's Wholesale Club that began last year. The partnership with Sam's Club, which covers Ford's Central, West, and Great Lakes market areas, was designed to ensure that there would be no overlap with the BJ's Wholesale Club deal, a Ford spokesman said. Vehicles not included in the latest deal are Ford's Mustang Shelby GT350 and GT350R and Ford GT, Ford RS, and the F-150 Raptor, according to a statement. The program is not nationwide, and excluded states include Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, New York, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and Vermont. States with partial eligibility, meaning they contain a few dealerships within the designated marketplace, are Alabama, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways.
Are you a movie buff? A gamer? A fan of music? Or do you just enjoy all things media? Then you should watch Media Maniacs on Monday through Friday at 3:30 and at 11:30 on the weekends, right before the all-night movies. Remember, Media Maniacs. They review everything, and they're just crazy enough to do it.